my topic, how to really enjoy yourself. You're supposed to enjoy yourself, but yourself is not the body and the five senses of taste, of hearing, of smell, of feeling, seeing, see, and then the sixth would be the mind, as a sense, in a sense. Okay. And these senses tend to control us like raging horses. That's why you'll see people who cannot overcome an addiction of a substance of some kind, that or something to see, like to watch, and that's why they call that the clock on the hand a watch, because you're supposed to watch it, and that's what people do. They're in the time game, so they're playing the time game all the time. All right, because what the time game does. So to really enjoy yourself, you have to know the distinction between yourself, and the physical body, because when it comes to the physical body with senses, the more you have of that enjoyment of a physical sense, the more it takes you away from yourself and could lead to a lot of trouble for a person. I know when I used to drink alcohol like that, and it was my medication, so I could feel good, relax, give me a reward, whatever it may be. And then I really started to look at the downside, and it wasn't about guilt, because see, it's the guilt and fear that drives us, in a sense, to try and get all of our pleasure and enjoyment from the senses. How much, ice cream or chocolate or alcohol, or like what happens with addictive, like heroin or those kind of amphetamines, or all this thing that of pharmaceuticals and such, that alter so much that person's reality, that instead of the person being able to come forth and be stronger in who they are, become more dependent to get away from who they are on something that pleases the senses, whether it's watching and looking, hearing, tasting, eating, smelling, feeling, such as sexuality or some kind of stimulation like that. And then people get into their emotions, these negative emotions, dramatic emotions that are based on fear and guilt and all of this, and generate this. And you have to get, we are powerful. We are the creators. And when we are used, that means we are taught what to think, what to believe, what to say, what to know is true, what is false, and all of this without our own realizations and trusting in our own guidance and inner knowing and being who we are. Then we become weaker and weaker within ourselves, and we seek these moments of pleasure that then also end in pain and suffering, like a hangover or broken relationships or fighting and all of it. So these bodies that we're in are very susceptible to chemicals and to what's in the air and all of this. But remember too, the body is made of the elements also of the earth, and mainly and also of water. And water also, in a sense, is a spirit, and it has its own special qualities. So anyway, so to really enjoy yourself, you also have to get that yourself, super self, and my super self are the same, and yet we each have our own individual relationship as to what gives us the greatest divine pleasure. And as being a pleasure seeker, because that's basically what we are, we've been looking for pleasure in only the senses, yet that then also brings the downside, where you're dealing in a positive and a negative, a plus and a minus, where you're going to get two sides of the same coin, to like and dislike. You're going to get pain and pleasure in that realm. But the real self, the pleasure of the self, doesn't cost you anything except to let go of the dependence on 5 cents gratification as a source of your pleasure and begin to seek the pleasure of yourself. And that comes in nature, in your quiet times, your contemplation, your being, and yes, and tuning in. And then you're always the party going somewhere to happen because you enjoy yourself in every moment. And you're enjoying the selves of others when they're being who they really are, but you still, no matter whether they know who they are or not, you're still enjoying yourself because you're in your love relationship, the eternal with the divine, and therefore every place you walk is holy ground because you are also grounded and centered and focused in the pleasure of the soul. And love of divine Mother, Father, God, your source, your partners, our beloved, whatever name, gives you that pleasure. Anything else does not, because it isn't inclusive. It doesn't include the personal, only the impersonal, only the manifestation, but doesn't include the manifested you. And that that's my work, because that's my life, and that's what people are seeking. And I always invite you to attend retreats or to do my Grandmaster mentoring, or phone counseling, or you work on the email. I am there to serve you in attaining all that you desire, and you're in your career and in your relationships and in every aspect of your being. And you say, well, how can anybody, one person, do that? Well, because we all can when we understand how and know how we operate, how this operates. And so therefore you can manifest and be always in that state of divine grace and divine pleasure of the soul. And when you're there, whew, the world is transformed.